Serral is the strongest Zerg that we know of. And he just played in DreamHack Masters and destroyed people. And there was only one person who was able to take some maps off of him. And it was Oliveira, formerly known as Time. And the interesting thing about this series was that it wasn't even the finals. This was in the semifinals. The finals was Serral versus Maru, which was just a stomp. Which is good if you want to learn how to stomp Maru, I guess, and you have the mechanics of Serral. Which, no one else is in that category, so. Here we have it. This is Serral's perspective in the best of. I will look at the Terran's perspective some of the time. Just kind of want to see the priorities of what he looks at. Whenever I was really trying to push my MMR up and practicing StarCraft all the time, not doing other games, one of the strongest ways to just improve, in my opinion, is to watch the first-person perspective of Zergs who are better than you. Because Zergs who are better than you are going to be looking at more important things on the map than you. Because they know more than you. That's why they're higher rank. So we're watching Serral here, and he's going for pool and then hatch. Which is interesting. This is game 1. Ghost River, whatever this is called. And I made a video being really excited that they put a healing pad on a StarCraft map, and then it was removed. So I didn't post that video. Yep. I would say Oliveira's got to be feeling amazing after this series and seeing how everyone else did against Serral. Kind of makes him look very solidly the second place person from the event. But let's not spoil the series too much. But it's great. Production tab, what's he making? He's getting an Overlord and some Lings, looking around for any SCVs or Reaper shenanigans. He's got 2 of 3 on the gas. And I want to look at the themes of what Serral tends to do, not just what he exactly does every single game. But if we can find the themes, then we can attempt to replicate this decision making. At a low to mid GM level. What do I think Serral's mental is like during this game? I think he approaches StarCraft with a forest of problems in front of him, like they're trees in the woods. And every time there's a problem, he figures out how to chop it down. And we're currently at a state of the game where he's just kind of looking at those woods. He's like, all right, what is the bullshit that Terran can do to me? And he's checking off all the boxes if I can deal with everything that you can possibly do to me. And I will still get stronger. I will still keep droning, and I will still keep teching up. Or attack you, which he could do at some point. He's getting link speed here. He pulled off gas. He has queens ready to inject the bases. Oliveira's doing some Terran things, probably. Serral doesn't really care. He just saw an expansion. He's like, all right, I'm going to drone. He's droning. Injecting the natural, spreading creep. 2 tumors forward at a time. Interesting placement there. Now, he's a very fast gamer, but for regular humans such as ourselves, this is placed around in the center of this lane, and this one is placed near this lane. So he can creep up this area, which would give him information of drops and banshees and all that kind of stuff. But then also, if he kills this, then he has a super short rush to attack his opponent's natural. So, interesting creep tumor placement. I don't know if he's that deliberate with every tumor placement, but it's possible. It's possible that he is. You would have to interview him. But Serral has a forest of Terran problems. Let's see if he can chop all the trees down. He's very strong, so if there's someone who can do it, he's the one who can do it. He has 2 queens in position to contest the ramp. 3 queens on a hotkey for defense. A tumor in the main instead of injecting. Oh, that's pretty cool. He's making 2 queens at a time. You might wonder why he did that. I would guess that it's because he didn't need an inject as much as he needed creep. This gives you some redundancy and would also fill the main here, and then he could creep down this way. We'll see if anything comes of this, but that was an interesting call. The conventional wisdom is you should inject more often than you should creep. But he wants a certain number of queens. He's making 2 queens at a time still. How many queens does he have? He has 6 queens. He's gonna have 8 queens. I'm gonna write down this timing. Let's write down this timing. And think about how we could strive for that in our own games. Okay. 8 queens by 447. This queen is still actively being born. 447. Just throwing up in a notepad file. 447. 8 queens. And 50 drones. 10 lings. 9 overlord. For those who care. Cool. We have a benchmark. And he has ling speed, and he's getting aggressive with this. What? He just runs in. And then goes back to inject. Kills the worker that was making the armory, thus getting the scout and delaying the push at the same time, and makes a spine as a reaction. Oh my god. What a stab. Serral is on the way. He is. Look at this. It feels good as a Zerg current year to at least have your faction dominating at the highest level. It's not something that's spammable, so the finals are like all Zergs. It used to be like that. But now it's half Zergs, half Terrans. There's usually a Protoss who's knocked out in the round of 8. But Serral's just so strong against Terran, which means that in your ZVTs, there's always more that you can do. And that's inspiring. Helbets. Here come the Helbets. Look at all these queens. Okay, he has 7 queens on a key and 3 queens and 3 queens. Interesting management here. Cancels the 4th. Simply respects the level of pressure this is. These queens are so thick though. Oh my gosh. He's got a huge clump of them. This is a huge clump of queens. This is 7 defense queens. So a lot of Terrans would be like, haha, I got him to pull all their queens. And it's like, bro, he's still got more queens. He's going to inject everything. Looks like he has 2 queen teams, pretty much. He has 3 queen hotkeys right now. What in the hell? It is really nice in the replays that you can kind of look at the hotkeys and think about how they're doing stuff. So he's got his army, his fighting queens at the front here, and then he's got these 3 are on 2 hotkeys right now, I'm guessing. Lings are going out, he's looking for a 3rd. And there is a 3rd, but there's no defense at it. Oh no, there's some Marines. Okay. It's a 3rd. It's a defended 3rd. Okay. Now he's got his Evos on a hotkey. That's another nice trick. Makes it a lot more likely that your upgrade timings are good. You also don't have to like hunt and find of like, where did I put my Evos this game? You've got them on a hotkey. Pretty nice. Pretty nice move, Lingbane moving into the 3rd base here. Oliveira has a tank. He has to respect it. Look at these injects. One small thing here. Whenever he does an inject cycle, actually, we'll just wait for the next one. These are long games. I'm enjoying this. We don't need a backup. We don't need to back up. He's going to inject his bases again. That wasn't a one-time move. He's very fast at injecting his bases. One thing that I struggle with sometimes is I look at the unit animations too much because they're really cool and awesome. Whenever a queen injects a base and you tell it to inject, it goes like... and then stands back up again. But you don't need to watch the animation. He definitely gets the inject just to the point that the queen is told to do it, and then he looks away to the next space. He's cycling through really fast between his actions by looking at things for as little time as possible so he can move on to the next thing. If we're just calling out what he's focusing on here, army, base, queens, base, army, overlords, injects, bases, creep, bases, creep, army, queens, base, army, creep, base, injects, army, drops, cancel, army, secondary army, army in the south, overlords, queens, army in the north, army in the south, queens, drops, queens and army, drops, army, drops, army in the south, drops, army, queens, creep, injects, army. How fast he did queen, he did injects and creep, and then heckin' goes right back to it in like a second. He's gonna mine out one of his future bases. Oh my god, really? That is vicious. Serral, you are vicious. He's mining this base out before this base, just so Oliveira can't have it later on. That's so funny. That seems way hard to defend this base. But he's so up in his opponent's business. And then he's gonna do drops again, even with the hurt overlords. Uh-oh. Okay. He's doing drops. One of the overlords of Lings died. Okay, drops. Army in the south. He's got 83 workers, 106 Lings, and 44 Banes. Just play Ling Bane. People ask me in Twitch chat, they're like, do you recommend playing Ling Bane Muta, Ling Bane Hydra, or Ling Bane Corruptor? It's like actually just Ling Bane. It gets the job done. Oh, he's got Burrow. Burrow Ling harass. This is really cool to watch. I feel like I'm getting smarter just by watching this. The speed of the injects. Ling Bane Dropper Lord. That's true, that is a key element to this strategy. I should give a shout out to the Dropper Lord. Thank you, chat. Let's point out that the Dropper Lords enabled lots of damage where Lingbane would not have normally been able to go, because good Terrans like Oliveira have their wall offset and they don't let stuff in. But if you have drops, stuff can get in through the window, and that's a problem for Terran. Really strong game here. Serral is definitely ahead. He's now trying to just soak all the money from the map. That's a thing that I've pointed out in a lot of the videos versus Mech, but he's against Bio and he's doing the same thing. He's just that good of a player, where he is taking his opponent's 6th base money right now. He's saying, okay, sure, you can have your 4 base. I will not ram my army at your 3rd while you have a 4th base. Notice that he hasn't been doing that. He's not just shoving his army at Oliveira's 3rd or the natural or the 4th. He's taking everything else on the map. And he's farming out one of the bases aggressively before his opponent can. He's taking the other base. He's saying, Oliveira, you are only allowed 4 bases on my map. Jeez. The thing that you have to give Oliveira big credit for, consistently, and I noticed this when I was watching the games, was his army comps are really well balanced. They're not ever too much of any one thing. He tends to have really well-rounded stuff. Marine, Marauder, Tank, Liberator, Medivac, and then a lot of mines as well. So, lots of different stuff. The main issue is he's broke. He's been on 4 bases and taking damage against Serral, who has basically everything on the map. Super, like, long-term intelligent to take this base. I think many players would never even attempt to play like this because they're too focused on ending the game. But Oliveira has really good building placement most of the time. Like, he's not really turtled up this game, but his ability to set up a really nasty siege. Like, this takes mechanics to be able to do this. But that's strong. That is nasty to attack into. So now this base is getting threatened. But he's already soaked a lot of the money from it. Lingbane goes in. Doesn't commit into it. He chooses not to commit into it. I think that's a really important choice to point out. It's so tempting to, because you want to take the fight. You're like, they attacked me, I want to take the fight. But he waits, and then he goes in on his own terms based on the Viper timing. Whose terms are you joining battle by? Is it by the Terran's terms or by the Zerg's terms? He has 84 lings. The 2 Vipers are getting more energy. Parasitic Bomb would be pretty juicy on those Medivacs. There's only 1 tank in the game, so I feel like Abducts don't really do too much for him. Oh no. Oh, but the Viper could pull them! Oh no. It's okay. He mined out a lot of that base, even though it was killed. That's important. He looks around so fast, the game is lagging. He needs to make sure he always has a really good computer, because he's oftentimes limited by the hardware. You know those gaming advertisements that are trying to get you to buy a new monitor or a new processor, and it's like marketed for gamers to give you a gamer edge? It doesn't really give you much of an edge, having a stronger computer. If you can reach, like, I would say 40 to 60 FPS, you could play at a pretty high level. But geez Louise, I could see Serral being like on that upper end if he might be limited by his computer if he's traveling. Okay, so we've got 2 Vipers as a theme in almost all of the games that I've seen of Serral versus Terran. When he played against Maru as well, basically getting a really early hive and then getting Vipers insta. There were a couple exceptions to that, but In more games than not, it felt like he was just going for 2 Vipers every time after a fast hive. He's getting ranged 1. These Vipers are really hurting that base. Maybe it's a bait for him. So awesome. So he's killed the 5th. He burrowed drones at one of his bases, so he lost less than his opponent lost. He keeps trying to take energy from that base and it's so hard. Send the queens over there. He's gonna fix the mining now. 72 workers versus 53. Queen's trying to get that medivac. He's gonna throw out some injects. Oh no, the mines. Okay, save the drones. Good call. He's just gonna send the queens to go inject everything. That's good. Throws a transfuse. Man, watching this macro is awesome. This is kind of how I felt watching pro player streams and stuff back when I was a Masters player trying to get GM for the first time and seeing how fast people were and how efficient their mechanics were. And this is the best in the world. Best in the world speed Zerg ever. Speed and solid decision making. Nice parasitic bombs pressuring the medivacs. 4 Vipers with energy is very strong. GG is called, wow. So the win condition here is Terran running out of minerals. It was pretty close where Serral was relatively low mineral. He had a decent economy though. The thing with the map is it came down so much to Serral's aggression, just consistently preventing Oliveira from really setting up a 5th base. The drops over here, I think that's the thing that I've never tried on this map that seems really good when you look at it, because you can drop from behind here into the main. It's kind of hard to do that on certain maps, so really cool. Good job, Dropper Lords. Ling Bane Dropper Lord with some heckin' Vipers on top. But he didn't really make that many other types of units. He's got an Ultra Cavern. He's starting chitinous plating now as his opponent is dead. What a game. Well played, Serral. That was game number 1. Let's just check all of them here. Game 2 going in. What is up, system? How's it going? We are studying Serral versus Oliveira, which was probably the more entertaining of the series that we saw. Zerg versus Terran turns out is winnable for the Zerg. Let's just put this overlay on here for fun. Are those mins by the rocks still 10 or did they patch that? I didn't see. The minerals by the rocks on Ghost River. It's a good question. I have seen almost no strategies that use mining through those. It seems like it's too inconvenient. But you can always check. I've definitely done a lot of the mine through cheeses on Amphion. Or Amphion, one of the new maps. That one, I think it's 3? No, it's 4 drones to get all the way through. It's 2 patches deep and 10 minerals a patch. So you can get through with 4. You can do a lot of Ling speed based cheeses with that, if your opponent forgets to get vision over there. We have Serral versus Oliveira. Map 2. This one's on Golden Aura. Golden Aura. Let's watch that production. Hatch gas pool. Last game he went for a pool first. But this is more normal. Cool. Goes up to 21. He's hotkeying his camera locations. Cool. Pulls off gas. Ling speed. Oh. Interesting that he takes ling speed that early. Normally you would take the third first. Cool. He makes an overlord and then takes a base. Interesting. And then he cancels ling speed. I guess it was for safety against something. Maybe the Reaper build. There are some builds that have the barracks in the wall of the natural for the Terran, and those hit a couple seconds earlier than if they make them in the base. So having ling speed early is really nice at defending that build. So I guess he wanted to get the ling speed, get his third, and then once he saw that it was Marine and not Reaper, he said, okay, it's fine. I'll cancel ling speed and then get a third base. Sends in a ling. One of Serral's signature moves is the one ling scout. He does it a lot, and he'll get a crazy amount of value from one ling. It's pretty awesome. It's not even mechanically that difficult to do either. You just grab one ling, you could use the steal command, just click it at the opponent's ramp. But you're oftentimes being attacked and stuff's going on, so I hear you. Ling's patrolling here at the natural. He's sending another ling over to the third base. Two Hellions here. Oliveira wants to delay creep, if possible. Creep, creep, creep. He's spreading the creep and making overlords. 5 roaches as soon as the warren is done. Regardless of information. Actually, he even sees a third. And he's still making 5 roaches. Cool. 5 roaches. What time did he make the roach warren? Hold up. We're learning right now. Did you watch the games live, or is this first view? I watched most of them live. Okay. Is it a 310 roach warren? Oh. 310? 315 roach warren. $320 roach warren. Cool. I like that. And this is a 320 roach warren with what knowledge? He knows that there's a third CC being built. That's so interesting. My intuition would have been to cut the roach warren because you're less worried about attacks, but you can still get hit by like Hellbat Marine, and roach warren's good against that. And Hellions are normally going to be on the map, and roaches are good against those, so he just gets a roach warren. He simply built a roach warren. Serral, after the finals, said, I scouted pretty much everything. My plans worked, pretty happy with it. So scouting is very important to him. That's very true. Very true. Okay, stay hydrated, chat. 53 supply to 66. He's focusing on spreading creep. He's making drones and overlords. And made 5 roaches. 5 roaches with knowledge of only 3 CC and Hellion. 5 roaches. Writing that down. He goes for lair at 430. Cool. Cool. Safety roaches. Yeah. Safety roaches. 5 roaches, to me, if I'm just kind of trying to advocate for why Serral would want to do this, if Hellions dive, the 5 roaches will punish by pretty much instantly killing 1 Hellion and then guaranteeing the others will be killed really soon. Hellions that dive when you have roach defense are really bad. They really want to fight against lings or nothing. That's kind of their goal. So 5 roaches makes for a really larva efficient defense of your bases as well. It only cost him 5 to 6 larvae to make these 6 roaches. But what if he spent 6 larvae into lings? He would only have 12 lings, which would easily be killed by those Hellions. So 5 roach looks pretty cool. He's also trickling in like 1 roach at a time. I guess just in case of Hellbat or some nonsense, I'm not sure. Two evos. Roach speed, ling speed. Wow, he didn't even have ling speed. He canceled it twice. ABR always be roachin'. Is that Vibe saying? Can someone link Vibe stream? Love Vibe, he's a god. He wanted the real ones. Okay. Serral's super fast hives. Oh my god. Start hive at 6:30. You're joshing me. 6:30 hive. When does he build an infestation pit, for Pete's sake? For Pete's sake. He's got his evos. $553. 553 goes for a hive. Or sorry, infestation pit. Okay. This is insane. Trisha's home. We're going through Serral versus Oliveira replays from the tournament today. He goes in with a Changeling Scout. Oh, but Oliveira susses it out. Do you think StarCraft players should practice Among Us to be able to suss out Changelings in StarCraft 2 ladder? I think it could be good. Definitely help you figure things out. So he went 553 Infestation Pit, 6-minute 30 hive. He's droning his 4th base. Has gases at the 4th base. Before a 5th. That's a lot of gas. He's getting a lot of gas income now. Pretty crazy. What's his eco? 89 drones. And these roaches are giving him a Rhino charge. Even though they can't really beat too many of Examarine. He sees the Banshees. Injects all his bases. Scanning. Stimming around the map, trying his best. 2 medevacs go to the main. He sends his Ling Roach up there. He's getting a 5th base. Supply is pretty even still. Hive is done. 744 and he instant adrenal. 745 adrenal. Have you ever gotten adrenal glands that fast? Probably not. That's one of the things that Roachling affords him. It's very sturdy, so he's really hard to kill. Looks like Oliveira is going to go for a timing, though. Serral has really deep creep right now. He's making Banes. Gonna get another... Okay, Ultra Cavern. He's doing his signature Viper move. Serral pretty much always gets 2 Vipers at Hive Tech. He's making a 3rd one now. I think Roach tries to defend this. Roachling Bane trying to defend this. This is a big push. Oh no. Oh no. He's not dead yet though. He still has all the Vipers. He's trying to get more energy. His Ling Bane is strong. He's expanding during this. That's awesome. You're being attacked by like 8 tanks, a bunch of Liberators, Medivacs, some Marines, and Marauders, and they're all pre-split. What do? Serral's like, I expand. And you're like, wait, what? He expanded. He expanded again. He doesn't care. He shrewdly gives up ground that others would jump to defend. And continues to inject. To me, this looks bad for him. Like, quite bad for him. There is a parasitic bomb on the Banshee. And the Medivacs kind of fly into it a bit. It's pretty good damage. He's getting ultras out now. His chitinous is almost done. +2 melee is almost done. He has slings there kind of at a 4th base location. Grabs. Grabs. Grabs 2 tanks forward. That makes some pretty easy kills. The Banes and the Roach and the Ultra. Pushing forward here. Blind some stuff. Damn. What a game. Pretty close. Felt like he almost defended. This was a 3 base all in. Yeah. So lots of barracks. Lots of barracks and no ghost transition. That's the downside here. Well played to Oliveira. Very cool push. Yeah, for Terran, they pretty much have the branch in their decision-making tree here of, do you all in at a Zerg and try to kill them on 4 base before they can really establish their 5th? Or do you turtle up and play for a bunch of ghosts? In this game, Oliveira said, I attack you. Yeah, it was a super fast adrenal gland, which is good, but the push that happened from Oliveira basically forced him into just making some Roach Ravager to be able to hold. And the army that Oliveira brought was just really good against Roach Ravager. So ended up putting him in a really bad spot where he had to take big fights off a power spike. Also, and I'm not as good as Serral, but the gas at the 4th base versus a 3 base play seemed a little bit ambitious. It seemed like that would be pretty hard to keep all those units alive and be able to beat that, while also being able to farm that much Vespene. Because he needed a bunch of lings. I'm not as good as Serral. Don't sell yourself short, buddy. Hey, I'm just trying to make sense of these. These are really fun. Well, cool. That was the first 2 games. I'm going to take a bit of a break, and then we'll do some more. Nice.